Hello and welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, February 18th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. We once again have a mix of clouds and sun this morning, including both some of the high-level clouds that have been a fixture of late, as well as a good deal of marine cloudiness as well, thanks to a coastal eddy that developed offshore overnight. The low clouds should gradually diminish with time, while some high clouds likely stay with us through the day. It's interesting to note that despite the marine layer clouds, we actually have some offshore winds over Southern California this morning, but they have been confined to the mountains and thus not enough to scour out the low clouds from the lower elevations. And we'll see this continue through the next several hours as these local north to northeast winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour, with gusts up to 40 miles per hour, continue across the mountains of Southern California through around midday today. Water vapor satellite shows a weak trough over the Great Basin this morning. That's the reason for our localized offshore flow. We also see a ridge of high pressure building into the west coast and another trough right behind that. So it remains a progressive weather pattern, but the common thread with all these features is that they are all pretty weak and really not changing the weather all that much as they come through. As we look at the upper air maps for the next few days, we see that ridge building in today as that trough to the east departs. Then by tomorrow, the ridge shifts east and the next trough moves in over Northern California and the Northwest, before it too slides into the Great Basin later this week with another round of light offshore flow. And we continue to eye the weekend and early next week as we remain on track for a stronger ridge of high pressure to develop over the region, bringing a more significant warming trend and a taste of spring-like weather. Here's a look at today's forecast highs, and we remain bound in this range of near to a little above normal temperatures right through Friday. We'll see several more days of mid-40s to upper 50s across the lower mountains, 60s in the Central Valley, and upper 60s to mid-70s in the Southern California valleys and the high desert. Minimum humidity will remain between 20 and 40% over most of Southern California through Thursday, higher in Central California and a little lower in the deserts. For the winds, we'll see westerly to northerly winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts to 50 miles per hour surface across the mountain ridges and desert passes Wednesday afternoon and overnight, probably strongest in the north to northwest wind-prone areas from Santa Barbara County eastward to the Tehachapi's. And then as that next trough moves into the Great Basin, those winds will transition to northeast winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour across the mountains and below the canyons and passes of Southern California from Thursday morning through Friday midday. So right now that looks like generally a weak Santa Ana type wind event. And then we'll get into our warming trend. We'll see about 5 to 10 degrees of warming across the board this weekend, and the warmer valleys of Southern California should reach the low 80s by Sunday, and likely climb a couple more degrees by Monday and Tuesday. Minimum humidity will drop to 15 to 30% over Southern California from Friday through the weekend. And it remains a dry forecast as well, outside of some possible very light shower activity across the Sierra on Wednesday. No precipitation is expected across the region through at least early next week, and probably beyond. Speaking of, the latest outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center show high confidence in above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation in the 6 to 10 day period. And at this point, I think it's likely we'll be seeing little or no precipitation through the remaining balance of February, maybe just a chance for some light shower activity towards the middle of next week. As a result, we will remain in what should be a favorable window for prescribed burning through at least the next 7 to 10 days. We'll see all classes of dead fuels on significant drying trends for many days to come following the recent moisture. Burners should be mindful of shifting winds with the progressive pattern this week. Despite the dry weather, live fuel moisture should remain mostly on gradual rising trends. The days are getting longer, and moisture remains plentiful following recent rains, so that's a good recipe for the continued progression of seasonal green-up. And with the state of green up, there will be little or no wildfire activity across the region through the forecast period. With time, the prolonged dry weather may lead to a modest increase in initial attack, but significant barriers to fire spread now exist, so we will not have any concerns for significant fire for the foreseeable future, even if dry and windy periods do occur. However, we do remain well below normal for rainfall for the wet season, so we could definitely use one or two more significant storms in March, or we will be in tough shape heading into the 2025 fire season. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Wednesday, February 19th.